This is Enrique the Talking Requinto. This is a requinto, traditional Latin American, Spanish, Mexican guitar. It's a Terz guitar. It has a short scale and is traditionally played, I believe, as much as 5 frets higher than normal. So your E would be a C. I have it tuned to where the E would be a G. Guitar is much happier. And I specialize in open tunings. If you took a regular guitar or a classical guitar and tuned it to open E, put a capo on the 3rd fret, that's what we have. It's now in an open G tuning. I'm going to call it open G Terz because a true open G tuning on a 6-string guitar would be open A with everything slacked 2 frets. If you think slack key, we're getting to the roots of where it came from. Anyway, this is the first lesson in open tunings in general and or open tunings in the Terz open G. The first lesson is there's a sheet of paper with the chord chart and the neck on it, and you have to remember this no matter what. You can forget everything else you learned about music for a long time, e.g. B, D, F, all that. Anyway, this is G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Now this A sharp could be a B flat, remember that, B, and C. C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, and now we are at an octave. We are at G, which is the same as this note. So the first lesson is the same no matter what key or tuning you're in. Just A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Remember, there's spaces in between most of them, except no space between E and F, no space between B and C. So you get your G, G sharp, A, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. Now, each of these strings is obviously tuned to a note already. It's the other half of the first lesson. And there's a lot there. We won't go into all of that right now. This one's the E. This one's the D. Excuse me, this one's the G. I'm used to open E, you see. This is the G, the D. Here's another G. B. This B is, I believe, the 3rd in the 3-note chord. This is going to be, it's what I would call the melody string. Let's continue. We're back to another D, and then again another G. There's 3 Gs and 2 Ds. Check this out. Name that tune. All right. So if I want to play, this is open G, and I want to make an A chord, well, I know here's G, here's G sharp, here's an A note. This is an G chord. G, this is probably an A chord. So here we go. There's an A. Well, how about a B? Go up 2 more frets to a B. Now to a C. Okay, the first lesson was play your bar chord, or play the C chord of the first position. Maintain the note with your voice is how I learned to do and decode all this stuff, because nobody did it before, and put it on paper. Now fret the bar the 5th fret, which remember, if this is a C note, this should be a C chord. Same note, same chord. The note and the chord are the same. Very important. We're dealing only with major chords at this point. Now let's try the F chord. And we know that the F is way up here. It's just 2 frets in back of the G. So let's go up here. We have 2 ways now to make an F chord. We have 2 ways to make everything, including the G, if you want to. There's your G chord up. So you can make basically all the major chords, including the sharps and flats, by simply barring them. On the Hawaiian Islands, the guitar was plucked for many years before somebody, in open tunings, before somebody finally went, oh yeah, you don't have to do this. You can do this with your pocket knife or comb. So that's really the essence. The final thing here is that to get, here's the C chord. This C chord takes you up 5 frets. That is, you're keeping track. Stanley Jordan keeps track, but he retunes the guitar in fourths, so we're not doing that. Keeping track will immediately allow you to understand what the hell is going on. So the last one would be the full D chord. Here's your D chord. But again, we're going to wrap our thumb around to fret this if you possibly can. It's a great chord. There's your D chord. And on the 7th fret, there it is again, your D chord. You now have 2 ways to play a D chord. You have 2 ways to play virtually every chord now. That's important if you want to start to construct a song. Again, the major thing here is you have to know A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the spaces in between. There are 2 with no spaces. Then you will learn that the chords of the major chords of the first position also have corresponding bar chords. And by realizing what these are, you'll begin to realize, here's what I'm talking about. We know that the F chord is 10 frets up. And that this position, this C position, is 5 frets up. Well, what if I bar this and add this 5 frets up? Will it make an F? Oh, yeah, now I got 3 ways. And we know what's going on. That helps. Okay, that's really the end of this particular lesson. I'm going to take a break and do something. Okay, bye. Howdy. This is the Terz requinto. This is from Zalpa's. Quality of Satisface. Mishwakan. Paracho. Paracho's still doing it. These guys maybe too. Anyway, back to the story. This is the 2nd lesson, and between the 1st and 2nd lesson, you have basically everything you need to continue on in open tunings by yourself. It's that simple. They are simple, and here's a few things that we're going to lump together. When we made this C chord in Terz open G, we're using 3 fingers, and this is a major point here. I pointed out we have 3 Gs and 2 Ds. Whatever you do to any of the G strings, you can do to any of the other G strings. whatever you do to these D strings, you can do to the other D string. That's why we're doing both of these, and probably why they're both open at this point. Just remember, whatever you do to any one of these, any of the two duplicate strings, you can do to the other one. Just try it and see what happens. I mean, what the hey? Here's a D7th. Let's add this one because it's the same as that one. It's just a fuller D7th. Let's do this, wrap them around. It's a full D7th. Okay. Remember, we're playing this C chord. Take your finger off. You don't need this one. You can make a C chord with 2 fingers. Basically, with the F, you can take that finger off most of the time too. The D, if you don't hit this thing, the bottom string, you don't have to play it, but please wrap your finger around, your thumb around whenever you can. Remembering that this chord takes us up 5 frets, and that this chord, relative to the bar or nut or 0 fret, is the heart of rock and roll. It's also the heart of blues. So, we're playing, let's play rock and roll. Rock and roll, you're going, so you're going to go from the progression in G to the same progression in C. This takes us to the Rolling Stones and Keith, who played on a lot of them. When you're hearing this, well, guess what? It was a guitar in probably open A, with only 5 of the strings. I believe the bass string falls off. Open tunings. The essence of this is that consider this as a bar. Here's an example. A D is 2 frets up from C. Well, here's a C chord. If I go up 2 frets, can I make it a D? Well, here's 2 frets. It's a good D. You can put that in and get the whole D again. It's very similar. It's a very valid D, and it's another way to make a D. And again, when I'm making a D chord, I'm going up 7 frets. When I make an F, I'm going up 10 frets. Think about this. There are 12 frets. Instead of saying I'm going up 10, let's go to the 12th fret and go back 2 frets. It always adds up. It always adds up. Here's your F. Let's get to G. Here's your F. F sharp, G. G. Now, I want to make an F. Well, F is 2 frets back from G. 1, 2. If you keep doing this mental exercise, pretty soon you won't be doing it. It'll become second nature, and you'll actually know what you're doing at virtually all points. And this is the essence of the second lesson. First of all, you don't need to play all the strings all the time. The tuning is so friendly that you can leave some of the duplicate strings open, and they simply are also notes of they're also notes included in this chord, so it's seamless. There's all kinds of those hidden in here too. And that whatever you do here, you can do the same thing here. Let's go like. So understanding that the bar chord becomes another chord of the okay, that's the end of the lesson. It's time to change the battery pack, and we've done enough. Oh, how can I stay here without you? I have nothing to ease my poor heart. This whole world would be sad and lonely. Tell me, dear, we never will part. I will pawn you my gold watch and chain, love. I'll pawn you my gold wedding ring. I'll pawn you this heart in my bosom. Only say that you love me again. I'll take back the things you have given, a diamond ring, a lock of your hair, a card with your picture upon it. It's a face that is false but is fair. I'll pawn you my gold watch and chain, love. I'll pawn you my gold wedding ring. Pawn you this heart in my bosom. Only say that you love me again. Oh, the white rose, it grows in the garden. It broke the love of my heart. It broke through on the day that we met, dear. It will die on the day that we part. I'll pawn you my gold watch and chain, love. Pawn you my gold wedding ring. I'll pawn you this heart in my bosom. Only say